Hey guys, what's up? It's me, Tay, and I am back with a new video. This look is going to be very simple. It's kind of like a go-to look of mine as of late. You know, something quick and simple and to the point, very neutral, and a nice shiny lip. So keep watching to the end for a special surprise. Starting out, I'm going to be, of course, doing my eyebrows. You guys know I love to start my eyebrows first. It's one of my favorite ways to pursue makeup, mostly because once you get the frame of your face done, which your eyebrows are like the frame for your face, it makes the rest of what you're going to be doing make sense, especially around the eye area. So me personally, eyebrows are always first. So I like a thicker, bold, kind of straighter brow. That's my go-to. And I'm using the Anastasia Dip Brow in dark brown. So I'm going to shape out my brow, elongate it, fill it in, you know, the good stuff. Like, you guys are pros by now, so... So when I'm doing the front part of my eyebrow, I like to go in with a lighter hand, do hair-like strokes so that it doesn't look so blocky and thick in the front. That's really important for a less angry looking face. So like I said, I like to do the hair-like strokes, and then once I put my foundation on, you're gonna see that I actually end up using that front part to kind of blend in my contour, but we'll get to that shortly later on in the video. So to clean up my eyebrows, I'm using a bit of concealer underneath and on top. And this concealer is pretty close to my skin tone, just like maybe a shade or two lighter. And I'm gonna be using that to add a clean, fresh eyebrow shaved look effect. And I'm gonna blend that out. And I like to use the back of my hand as a kind of like a napkin almost, to just remove excess formula, excess concealer, so that it doesn't look cakey or bulky around the area. And it also warms up the product so that it spreads better. Moving on, I'm going to be using some foundation. So the foundation I'm using, of course, is my Maybelline Fit Me. Honestly, Maybelline Fit Me is a grower in the sense that it has been with me for years. I've been using it for such a long time. And honestly, it's one of my favorite foundations just for the simplicity of being able to access it anywhere. No matter where you are, you'll be able to find Maybelline Fit Me. So yeah, that's one of my favorite foundations. So I'm just applying that all over, even my eyelids, making sure that I'm applying it in an even fashion. I don't use any primer. Primer for me has never worked, so I just always excluded it out of my arsenal. So yeah, I'm gonna be blending out my foundation and making sure it's smooth and even. Okay, now moving on, I'm going to be using the Maybelline Fit Me concealer, and I'm going to be applying it in areas that I want to stand out, and I also want it to just brighten up in those areas. So corners of my mouth, side of my nose, tip of my nose, side of my eyes, and a little bit on my forehead. Next, I use a little bit of spray just to kind of get things moving, because I noticed that with Maybelline Fit Me Concealer, although it's one of my favorites, it does dry quicker. So I like to spray a little bit of setting spray just to kind of keep it fluid. Another pro tip that I can give you is to spray your brushes with your setting spray right before you're about to apply on your concealer. What that's going to do is help spread out the concealer, but also keep that locked in for a longer period of time, because the setting spray contains its formula that keeps things locked in place, and it also helps with the fluidity of your concealer, and it spreads like a dream every time I do it that way as well. But I'm making sure to stipple the concealer onto my face and not necessarily drag or just smear it on, because you want it to look even, like it's been airbrushed. Next, I'm going to be applying some setting powder. This is a loose setting powder, and I'm using a powder puff to keep things in place. I don't like to use brushes to apply on top of my concealer just because I want it to stay put all day, so I like to use a loose powder and a powder puff. Next, I'm going to be doing some light contouring, and I'm going to be focusing on the areas that surround the areas I highlighted. So for me, that's the sides of my forehead, my cheekbones, my chin, nose, side of my nose, and yeah, I'm going to make sure that I apply it in a even form. Using a really fluffy brush, I'm going to dust off any excess powder, and I'm going to set my skin with some setting spray. After that, move on to applying some mascara, and this is just going to be a thin coat because I'm going to be applying some half lashes. In here, I'm going to be doing a little bit of light contouring towards the sides of my nose and underneath the tip of my nose as well. So in the beginning of the video, I mentioned I like to do the front part of my eyebrow lighter so that I can connect my nose contour all the way up to the top of my brow. You saw me just do that, and that's the reason for keeping it nice and light. Now I am going to be gluing my half lashes on. I'm letting the glue get a little bit tacky. In the meantime, I move on to applying some really deep dark brown lip liner, and I'm going to be applying a nice kind of neutrally pinky brown lip gloss, so you'll see. Because I wanted to keep this look more on the neutral, everyday kind of basic look, I wanted to use half lashes as opposed to a full strip, because I felt like a half lash still gives the drama that you want, but also gives a little bit more of the natural simplicity that you will be looking for in this kind of a look. So on days like this, I spring for a half lash. Next, I'm going to be shading underneath my nose with a darker brown powder, and that's just going to add more definition. Hey guys, what's up? It's your girl Tay, and I know that it has been a very long time since you have seen me last. As you know, a lot has happened in my life. It has really changed a lot of things for me. it has changed my relationship with social media and how I interact and how I choose to pursue being in the social media world. But I've been doing a lot more focusing in on family at the moment. And I honestly feel like I reached a point in my life and also a point in my YouTube career, my social media career, where I feel more comfortable to be out there again and to put myself in front of the camera, and also a little side note, behind the camera too. I have been on a journey to find what's next for me, because there was a point, if I'm going to be honest with you, where I built a kind of uncomfortable feel towards being in front of the camera. So it mostly stemmed from how much I wanted to give. How much time did I have to invest into this particular apparatus, you know? And honestly, that has changed a lot. I reached a point where I had a bit of uncertainty in front of the camera, a little bit of fear being in front of the camera again after, you know, years of being away, after becoming a mom and I feel like I'm not even the same person because I've experienced so much and gone through a lot of different things. And because of that, I want to be able to grow with my audience, and I want my audience to grow with me. I want to extend myself in ways that, you know, are going to help a fellow up and coming artist. So what my plan is that I want to have you have access to what I can provide. So whether that's editing, whether that's ideas, whether that's advice, I want to be there to support. So I'm gonna have information down in my description box, of course, of how you can reach me, and we could talk about different types of ways that I can be of service to help. I want it to be a mutually beneficial process, and I want to be able to be an extension and help other people learn to do beauty content, whether it's through coaching, whether it's through editing, whether it's through shooting. I can do it all, okay? And I got a team behind me, it's not just me. So, yes, thank you guys for watching this video to the very end. If you made it to the end, please click that thumbs up. I appreciate you so much, and I'm very grateful and thankful that you stuck around. And I know you're like, damn girl, it has been a minute and a half, and it has. It has. But it's a new year. I'm at a different point in my life where this is doable, because for a while it was not. So I hope to see you around, and I appreciate you, and I'll see you in my next video, okay?